Hi, and welcome to Bay Area Focus. I'm your host, Kenny Choi, filling in for Michelle Griego today. If you have show ideas for us, we would love to hear from you. You could visit us at facebook.com/Bay Area Focus. Kicking off our show today is a guest bringing the cuisine of Turkey to people everywhere through a beautiful cookbook. Author Robyn Eckhardt has compiled 150 recipes from natives all over Turkey and beyond in her book, Istanbul and Beyond. And she's here to share. Robyn, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on the show.
So tell me a little bit about how this all got started.
Okay, well, that's a long story, and I'll try to condense it. The cookbook was a collaboration with my husband, photographer David Hagerman, and our first trip to Turkey was in 1998. We were both living in China at the time, doing different careers. And we just fell in love with Turkey and its people and its food. And fast forward about 12 years, and we were by then freelancing. He is a photographer and me as a food travel journalist. We returned to Turkey after an absence about 8 years and immediately felt that pull again to this place and decided to really focus our work in Turkey. And about a year and a half later, after a couple trips to Turkey, came up with the idea of a book that would bring to light foods of Turkey that people don't usually think about, and to show that Turkey is really a land of regional cuisines, not just Turkish food.
And how would you describe the cuisine there?
Varied. The book has chapters that are divided according to region. We have a chapter on Istanbul, and then we have chapters on 7 regions. The food is widely influenced by the topography and the climate, and there's something for everyone. It's for vegetarians, for carnivores. It's very, very widely varied.
And what are we looking at right here? We got a shot of a beautiful dish.
Okay, this is a dish from Hatay province. It's a Mediterranean province that borders Syria, and in fact used to be part of Syria. And this is a sun-dried tomato salad with pomegranate seeds and chili peppers and lots of fresh parsley and a dressing of pomegranate molasses and olive oil.
That sounds healthy, and it looks really good.
It's really good. It just pops in your mouth.
Yeah, you said that you did a lot of research for this. I'm kind of jealous. What went into that research? Did you try, I mean, you must have tried numerous dishes as you're trying to compile this book.
Yeah, I think I ended up with about 200 recipes and had to jettison them because of space, so many. But we traveled about 15,000 miles by road, mostly in eastern Turkey, spent about 16 months on the ground researching regional cuisines in farmhouses, in villages, in towns, in truck stops, on fishing boats. We pretty much went wherever the food took us.
You've got a food blog called Eating Asia.
I do.
And when you were doing the research for this book, tell us a little bit about the farm-to-table culture in Turkey and in that part of the region, how it differs from the farm-to-table culture here in the Bay Area and Napa.
I think that farm-to-table in California and the United States is something that's kind of been recently rediscovered. But in eastern Turkey, which is still very rural and still very agricultural, people have never gotten that far from the land. And what people eat is really very much defined by where they live. There are ingredients that you find on the Black Sea, like dried corn, that you do not find in Mediterranean provinces because corn is not grown there. It's really a very locavore and very seasonal cuisine. It's always been that way.
Mm-hmm. Your favorite dish of all the things that you researched and wrote about?
There's a flatbread called fingerprint flatbread. It's a chewy flatbread that has a lovely quilted surface that's made with the fingertips. And in Turkish, the name translates to fingernail flatbread because of the way it's scored. And it's my favorite dish because we spent so much time in traditional wood-fired bakeries, learning about breads and learning about the dishes that people carried in to be cooked in those bakeries, and that dish is from one of our favorite of those bakeries in Van province.
I think a lot of people listening to this would be jealous because you're a food and travel blogger, writer. What's your advice to people who actually want to get into this industry?
It's work, and don't do it to get rich.
Yeah, okay.
Do it because you love what you want to write about.
But you can enjoy all the cuisines
I do,
and all
yeah.
around the world. All right.
It's great.
Robyn, thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Thanks for having me on the show.
To get a copy of the book, you could log on to Istanbul and Beyond cookbook.com, and to check out Robyn's incredible food blog, you could log on to eatingasia.typepad.com. Stick with us. Up next, we are talking with the owners of a must-see spot in Napa Valley when we come back.